Hi, everybody. Now that we have our development environment, it might be interesting to see a little bit, to show you a little bit around what there is in the code. So here we have our code again. So first of all, it's always a nice start to have the readmes, of course. You're probably already aware of this. So there are two readmes here. This is the main readme containing how to set up the project. We have also readme in the SRC file, and that there it's described how to add a resource. So we've got different files. It's a Python project. I don't think the git ignore. So those are just all quite standard files. It gets interesting in the SRC directory, because there we see different parts. We see the connectors. Those are used to get data, for instance, from OpenML or Hugging Face, and to connect it with our metadata. We've got the converters. Those are converters to convert from our own schema to another schema, for instance, to schema.org for data sets. Probably not the most interesting part for you. Database, this is probably interesting. Here all the models are defined. So if you want to define a new model, you should be in here. So if you want to define a benchmark, for instance, we should have to add a new package here. Routers, so for each of the things, there's a simple router. It's all quite generic, which is quite nice. So the generic thing is the resource router. Here all the magic really happens, and this is just implemented by all of those things. So except if you want to do really advanced stuff, you should never have to check the resource router, but just implement your own router here. Then we've got tests. So in the test there is the same parts are there. So we've got the connectors, converters, the database, all kind of stuff, and we really try to test everything quite well. So each router has a test, for instance, and there's a lot of tests going on. I think maybe around 100 tests. Last part here for now is the uploader. So this is for uploading data to Hugging Face. Of course, we've got authentication and the main file. This is the file where everything starts, but probably you're also not really interested in this. So here all of the arguments are specified, and the fast API is run, because we're using fast API to create those endpoints, but we are including all of the routers there. So as a normal user of the system, if you just want to develop simple stuff or relatively simple stuff like adding new resources or that kind of stuff, so you don't have to change the framework, and there are only two places actually which are interesting, or three maybe. So the database model is interesting for you, the router is interesting for you, and you have to add the tests. Those are the parts. So this is just a simple, quick overview of the code. Thanks.